Hey Ellen, thanks for getting this in. You gave us a lot of images here. That's great, and it sounds like you took a whole bunch, so wonderful. And then it says here that you decided to omit all of the images that you couldn't account for because you didn't have a shot of your meter reading for those particular images. And unfortunately, what that means is all the images that you submitted to us as finals are shot in the shade. They're not shot with directional light, they're shot with diffused shade. So if you want to get back in here and give us the other images, even though you don't have the meter shots for it, I don't mind. I see that you're using your meter. If you don't have any very specific questions about it, then those really specific meter shots aren't so important to me because I don't need to help you. So if you want to put them back in here. And the reason I would suggest that is because, you know, you're talking about how the photographers that you looked at were using available directional light. And in both of your finals, you're actually using you're using very diffused soft light. Now, the composition is nice, the posing's nice, they're actually really beautiful images, the depth of field is beautiful, the color is beautiful, everything's great about it. However, there's no real specific or intentional use of available light. You know, we're just in the shade here. Does that make sense? And I think so many of these images really could have benefited in regard to like compositional and narrative drama if she wasn't always standing in the shade. You know, specifically these here, like this is a really interesting composition, a very interesting idea. And if she was half in this bright sun and half in the shade, that would be a totally different thing going on, right? That would be an intentional use of directional light. But she's in the shade. In every single image, she's in the shade. See that? Every single one. Even though there's all kinds of split lighting, there's all kinds of different lighting possibilities, she's in the shade in every single image. God, that looks really familiar. You know, and stuff like this can be really interesting, where you've got this bespeckled sort of light coming through the trees. It's really fun, I think, to shoot people in this because we get sort of different effects because the tree leaves are acting like a gobo. You know, if the sun is the strobe head or the incandescent lamp, the trees are the gobo. And they give us really interesting abstracted lighting effects, so that would be really fun too. So my advice is to come in here and give us some of those other images, and even go ahead and enlarge them as finals if you want, of a more intentional use of light here. Because like I said, she's in the shade. There's no obvious intentional use of available light here. I hope that makes sense to you. And if not, you know, just come back in here and disagree with me. That's cool, too. We can do that. Thank you. But thanks for getting it in. I can tell that you worked really hard and had a good time on this. That's awesome. So thank you. And let's see the rest of those shots. Why not? Heck. Show them to me. You know, you can always give me as many shots in your contact sheet as you want. I'm just serious about cutting it down to exactly the number of finals requested. But if you want to give us 3 times as many images in your contact sheets as requested, I'll look at them. That's my job. I'm happy to do it, okay? Thanks.